Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dentistry Unmasked. My name is David Rice here as always with
Hey everybody, Pam Maragliano. David, what is going on?
all the things, Pam. So many things are going on, but we have a pretty darn good day today, don't we?
Oh my gosh, we've got the best day today. So we got to kind of kick it back to kind of bring it to where we were. So do you
Hmm.
remember, I don't even remember how many months ago it was, but remember we had Brian Novy on and he gave us that like, I don't know, marathon of products that a lot of people might not have heard of.
Yes.
So this was interesting because I mean, he literally bombarded us with like all the things with all the different uses from, like brushing your teeth to like scrubs, the bedroom, like all the things. And it was interesting because people wanted to hear about this particular toothpaste. And so we needed to bring my dear friend, Tree Mainella, on. She's the founder of Birchtree Hemp. Tree, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It's exciting.
We're so happy to have you here. So I mean, it's interesting because I've known you forever. You've been in the dental industry forever, but our listeners may not know you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about, what you're up to.
Okay. Well, as you had mentioned, I've been in the dental industry for, gosh, decades and worked for various companies, marketing, product management, and all of that good stuff. But about 6 years ago, I had an idea and I decided to embark on an endeavor with a very dear friend of mine who used to own a pretty well-renowned dental company. And so she and I are partners in Birchtree Hemp. So what I wanted to do is, there were a lot of products that came out with CBD and all that. And what we did is we did our research and we found the finest natural ingredients and we put them all into a toothpaste. And so if you know anything about the cannabinoid system, our bodies have a cannabinoid system built in. And some of the greatest receptors of our cannabinoid systems are in the oral cavity in our mouths. So I decided that this toothpaste, I wanted to combine a few cannabinoids, CBD and CBG. And for those folks who don't know what CBG is kind of the mother of all cannabinoids. It is what CBD is derived from. And it's quite an extraction process. And of course, they have to extract out and make sure there's no THC in the product, which is the stuff that gets you high. And so at any rate, we embarked on this toothpaste. And the nice thing about the cannabinoids is that they are anti-inflammatory. They are well, I shouldn't say anti-plaque, but they greatly reduce plaque formation. And there are other ingredients in there as well, like xylitol. And I also put a little bit of Manuka honey in this formula. And you might be thinking, well, why? Why Manuka honey? Manuka honey, if you don't know anything about it, look it up. It's got incredible health benefits. And one of which is that it regenerates tissue. In fact, it's been known to be used in the medical industry on third-degree burn victims, and they use it topically to regenerate epithelial cells. And so I put some of that in the toothpaste because in the combination is that the Manuka honey will, if you have bleeding gums, if you've got necrotic tissue, the Manuka honey is going to topically take care of the tissue. And then the cannabinoids work more systemically. So I think it's a great little combination. And the toothpaste itself has 250 milligrams of CBD and 50 milligrams of CBG. So we are the highest concentration of cannabinoids in a toothpaste. And it's a great product, and we had some case studies that are going to be being published, as a matter of fact, at the end of this month. And I wanted this to be, I didn't want it to be a gimmick. You can look and there are plenty of hemp seed toothpaste on the market, and Those, quite honestly, hemp seed is inert. I mean, it literally, hemp seed does nothing. In fact, hemp seed is what they use for textiles and clothing and all this other good stuff. So anytime you see hemp seed, it's not going to do anything for you. It's usually just a marketing gimmick, but full spectrum hemp extract is what you really want to look for. But so we launched the product about 6 months ago, and it's doing fabulously. And there'll be more products coming out thereafter, but this is the flagship product.
That's amazing. I love this. And thank you for kind of making the distinction between hemp seed and actually something that is impactful, effective for us. Are there other things like people should be on the lookout for? Because you're right. I think people hear a buzzword or a phrase and they immediately either jump on it or they run from it.
Right. Well, when CBD came out, I mean, if you could buy CBD products in a gas station, and so it doesn't necessarily mean that they are the real deal. And just to give you an idea, like I said, I wanted this to be legit. I wanted the company to be legit. I want the products to be legit. And so what I would say to the viewers is anytime you are researching a CBD product, whether it's a toothpaste, a topical rub, tinctures, anything like that, look for COAs. And what those are is a certificate of authenticity. So we only use certified growers, certified extractors. All of our products are non-GMO. They're sourced from, real legitimate certified, suppliers. So I would say look for those. And every batch of the toothpaste goes to a third party testing lab to make sure that what we say is in that tube, you're actually getting. And they are, they are non-partisan. So they kind of do the toothpaste and they test everything. They make sure everything is legitimate. They put out the COAs. We get them. They're on our website, and that'll just prove that what you're paying for, you're actually getting. So that's what I would say to the viewers. Look for the COAs, on the websites of these manufacturers.
So I have to put my dental hygiene hat on for a second. And I have
Sure.
so many questions that I feel like hygienists are going to want to know. Because honestly, let's be real, if we're in our dental practices and we're going to be making a recommendation for a toothpaste, it's usually coming from the dental hygiene room.
Of
So,
course.
okay, I've got so many questions, but let's start with presence or absence of fluoride and abrasivity.
Okay. The abrasiveness is less than 30. The RDA is less than 30, and no fluoride. There's absolutely no fluoride in this toothpaste, and there's no sodium lauryl sulfate. And the SLS, as you know, it's a commercial detergent. And so when you go out and you buy these commercial toothpaste, you're brushing and they're foaming, and and that foaming effect is really like psychologically saying, oh yeah, this thing is doing something. When in fact, you're really brushing with a commercial detergent, and it's not very good for you, SLS. So you're going to see that our toothpaste doesn't have that big foaming effect. The other thing too is to keep in mind, the more foam that a toothpaste produces, it's like your toothbrush is hydroplaning on your teeth. What you really want are those bristles to touch the tooth surfaces. So as I said, all natural ingredients. We took the SLS. We didn't use SLS, and certainly no fluoride. So
Awesome. I really think that, I mean, so I'm also trying to wrap my head around when would you recommend this? Like, is this something where, I mean, obviously anybody could use it every day for everyday use. And
mhm,
I'm guessing that there's going to be a cohort of patients that are going to prefer a more natural, more, this type of approach for anti-inflammation and um, biofilm, et cetera. But
mhm.
I'm imagining like most hygienists, this is gonna be a tool in their tool belt. you know,
Yeah.
they might recommend, you know, say 5,000 parts per million for a specific patient, or, you know, maybe stannous fluoride for another patient. I'm trying to imagine, when would you bust this out of your tool belt and be like, this is really like, this is what you need?
Well, interestingly enough, as I had said earlier, we've done some clinical testing. And what we did is we identified patients that had necrotic tissue, bleeding gums. In fact, myself, I'm going to throw myself on the mercy of the court. I hate water. I don't like drinking water. So what I do is I usually pour a ton of lemon juice in my water. And of course, we all know that's so bad. And so what happens is, because I drink so much lemon water, I'm prone to canker sores, or aphthous ulcers. And so it happens. And since I've been using this toothpaste, I have not had one canker sore. The patients that we identified and had used this toothpaste reported back to us that their gums stopped bleeding. When they flossed, the gums did not, your tissue did not bleed. They felt cleaner. The next morning, they felt that they didn't have the morning breath or the fuzzy teeth, or even though they brushed the night before. So I would say that if you have a patient who is into holistic type of products, and has these issues, it's not going to cure perial pockets. But I will tell you that in testing this product, I actually got a patent on this. And so in order to get the patent, I had to do some clinical trials. And what we did is we identified a few older patients that had deep perial pockets, and they had all of their teeth. And what we found after about a month of using the toothpaste is they had some epithelial attachment. Now, the pocketing was reduced, but of course they didn't have bone regeneration. They just got some tissue attachment, which is, hey, I think it's great. So I would say that if you have those patients that, just have that necrotic red, bleeding to the touch, sore, canker sores, anything like that, this is the product for them.
Do we like this for maybe post-surgery, like implant surgery or something like that?
Sure, absolutely, without a doubt, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So, Pam, I'm guessing your practice, similar to my experiences, we have a population of patients who, like, canker sores are just a thing.
Okay.
And we've gone through all the, God, in 30 years, I can think of, like, Miracle Soup was, something you would prescribe to try to bring them some relief so they could eat. Soft tissue lasers, diode lasers, trying to bring some, red light energy to those. But that's exciting to think that we might have a real solution to help people.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, and also for everyday use. I know in my practice,
Mhm.
being in Salem, I definitely have a pile of patients that really prefer a natural approach to things. So I think that we also need to talk a little bit more, because I know that there's some people out there that are like, I am not recommending CBD in my practice because I am not a drug dealer. So So can you break it down a little bit more, the difference between THC, CBD, and maybe even a little bit more about CBG, because I think that's going to be new for a lot of people today.
Absolutely. So what happens is the cannabis plant is the CBG, which is the cannabinoid. It is extracted through a whole process. I mean, it's pretty elaborate. It is extracted from the plant. From the CBG, the CBD is then further extracted. Now, in that purification and extraction process, if it's done properly, there is zero. The toothpaste has to prove to be less than 0.03% THC, which is, it's nominal. It's non-existent. So it's 0. it's 0.03 to, you know, 0. I mean, none. So you have to make sure in the extraction process that you have properly filtered it and extracted just the cannabinoids that are non, you know, hallucinating and psycho, just, you know, giving you a high and all that other stuff. And so again, it's really important that, and anytime you see CBD, CBG, I rather doubt there's any THC in the product. But then again, like I said, always refer to see if you've got the COAs from that particular product, because even the CBD and CBG, some manufacturers may say it's got CBD and CBG in it, and it's really hemp seed. So, you know, you have to really kind of dig deep and you know, research these products. But these products and the cannabinoids, and that's why I was saying earlier that we work with certified growers in California and in Colorado, and they do their own extractions. And so they have to, you know, hold to a real high standard. You know, the material itself it has to pass New York. We're in New York. It has to pass all of New York, you know, good manufacturing processes. I mean, it is a process. Even though toothpastes themselves are still considered cosmetic, what I decided to do is to treat this product like a cosmetic plus. And what I mean by that is, yes, it's true that, you know, the FDA has not looked at the products and it's not FDA approved, so to speak, but it's still it's considered a cosmetic. But you know, eventually what'll happen is the federal government, the FDA will catch up to all of these manufacturers. And so what we've done at Birchtree is we do everything by the book. We document everything and we report everything. And it's really quite an endeavor, because if the federal government or if the FDA ever does call on me, I've got all of the documentation. And so they can't say, hey, you know, you're dealing a product that is not legit, or it's harmful, or whatever it might be. So, you know, eventually the feds will catch up to all of these manufacturers, and the ones that don't, you know, document and do it by the book, they'll be hurting. They'll be shut down probably and fined.
Where do you find these COAs? Are they within the box, like as part of like an IFU, or is it something where you need to go to the website and find it there?
The website, yeah. And there, if you go on our product pages, it'll say, you know, COA, just click on it. You can read it, you can download it, you can print it, whatever it may be. And every single batch goes through that, and we get a COA for every single batch of toothpaste. So the latest is always on our website.
Interesting. So, okay. All right, David, I'm gonna like ask, okay, have you ever had a gummy or something like that? Like
David, she's putting you on the spot,
Oh
David.
no, okay,
Yes.
so okay. All right, so I have.
Haven't we all?
I mean, by accident. It came in a bag with a bunch of bears. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Somebody handed me once at a concert. I don't know. Anyway,
Mhm.
so all right, I feel like people are probably like, okay, does this toothpaste taste like garbage? Because sometimes you imagine, you know, again, I know we're talking THC versus CBD, not the same thing, but there's that taste that is not what you want for a toothpaste. Can we talk about what your toothpaste tastes like?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up, because in the manufacturing process, that was an issue. I will tell you, aside from THC, the cannabinoids have a bitter taste to them. They don't taste good at all. So when we were going through and, you know, making this stuff, there were so many iterations and concentrations that we put in there. And you're right, Pam. I mean, there were samples that I had gotten, and it was like, oh my God, this stuff is like, it's so bitter. No one's gonna brush with this. So it's a careful balance, and we worked with flavorists as well to make sure that you don't taste that bitterness or get that aftertaste of the cannabinoids that are in there. So it's kind of a fine balance, but you're absolutely right. I mean, you don't want, these cannabinoids are extremely bitter and they don't taste good at all. So we made sure that we worked with the right chemists and we got the formula just right so that you don't have that bitter taste or that aftertaste.
Yeah, no, I sort of lobbed that one up there for you because I've actually used the toothpaste and it's actually extremely pleasant. I really like it. And I mean, everyday use, you totally could use it. So yeah, no, I feel like it's definitely one that I would reach for, and it's minty, it's refreshing, it's not, there's no weird aftertaste. Like I think if I didn't like try it, I don't know if I think I'd be like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but it actually, is extremely pleasant. So, I mean, I would say it's up there with any other toothpaste flavor wise, like, so there's no surprises there.
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, too, we used natural peppermint and natural spearmint oils. And so, again, the combination of the two is what kind of gives it its pleasant taste. And, it's interesting because there are some commercial toothpaste. I don't know if you've ever experienced them, but there are some commercial toothpaste out there that I've brushed with in the past. And they're so strong and so minty that actually my tissue started sloughing because it's the flavors or whatever it is that they put in there, it just irritated my tissue. You won't find that with this. And it's not like it's subtle and it's pleasant enough. It's not like you're going to put this in your mouth and it's going to be like burning or like you just inhaled, peppermint oil. You know what I mean? So it's just a nice combination, I think.
I agree. So where do you get this toothpaste? I feel like, can you get it on Amazon? Is it something we have to carry in the dental office? Like, what's the scoop there?
Well, Amazon does not sell CBD, CBG products, and so you won't be able to find it on Amazon. Right now, you can get it on our website, which is birchtreehemp.com. And also, you can give us a call. There's a number on the website you could call and talk to me specifically. And if the dental office wants to carry the toothpaste, and we absolutely have special pricing for the dental offices to carry the product and then either give to their patients or sell to their patients. But right now you can get it on our website.
Awesome.
Awesome. What's up with Amazon and that anyway?
I'm sorry, what?
What is up with Amazon and that?
I know. It's like, but they will sell hemp seed, which is quite interesting. So you can find hemp products on Amazon or hemp seed, but again, as I said earlier, you're not buying anything. I mean, you're just overspending for something that is totally ineffective.
Yeah. Well, Tree, I've got to tell you, I mean, we've known each other a long time. I've always known you to stand for better in our profession, which I think is really important. I love that you guys are doing this the right way. I think that's a point to, kind of circle back and for everyone to really understand that toothpaste is considered a cosmetic, so people don't have to jump through the hoops that you're jumping through. And it's kind of up to us to do our homework and make sure that we're recommending the best products to our patients. So, Pam, I'm excited to try it. I'm glad you have. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So yeah, everybody, birchtreehemp.com, give it a try. Brian loves it, so you might as well.
That's a huge recommendation right there because Brian does, I mean, he's that guy.
He's that guy that's going to tell you it's great, and he's also that guy that's going to tell you to avoid it like the plague. So, if Brian gives it his stamp of approval, it's certainly worth giving it a shot. So no, I think Tree, this has been awesome. I think that this was educational. I think that not everybody understands the differences between these ingredients, and we need to know that, especially if we're going to be making these recommendations to our patients. So thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to see both of you.
Pleasure is ours. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Dentistry Unmasked, and we will see you all next week.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening to the show this week. And thanks to our guests and sponsors on this episode.
Please check out our social media at Dr. Pamela _Maragliano and at Dental Economics Official.
Or you can check me out at Ignite DDS or at Dr. David Rice.
And go to dentaleconomics.com to receive dental economics. You can choose to receive DE in print or digitally, and you can also get the details of our Principles of Practice Management conference on our website.
If you have topics or guests or anything you'd like to talk about on the show, send us an email to dentistryunmaskedpodcast@gmail.com, and we will do our very best to make it happen. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.